got a nice square of walnut that was about 1.25 inch, 1.5 thick that I thought I'd have a go at doing a square platter with. So I marked up the centre first on both sides, and then I didn't want to do a screw chuck, so I've used a stem drive, in this case an Axminster Evolution type stem drive, and mounted it between centres in order to actually turn a tenon on to start with.
I've just measured up my jaw size. I want to create a mortise on this side so that I can grip it and turn the tenon on this side. So I've just checked the size, which obviously needs to be done to the smallest size because then you undercut it. This is a dovetail. So I've transferred that dimension to my other ones. I will turn the speed down first, just spin it up, keep your hand away. That's good enough. Always make sure that the far point isn't touching the wood, otherwise you get a nasty catch. So I've transferred the size of the mortise, and it's going to be opened out into a dovetail inside. The wood grain is running this way, and the bowl is going to be running this way, which means that hopefully as the grain eases it'll just flatten the design rather than make a mess of it. So this is going to be the inside. Yes, okay. So I need to just true this up and put a mortise on it. So mask on. Make sure everything's tightened up. Handle well down. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn the mortise before I go any further. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. So I've just created a straight slot initially, and because this needs a slight undercut for the mortise, I've just gone in over the top. Right, I'm just going to now remove that, swap it over and put it on the expanding jaws. It's gone on okay. I just pop the centre up, just slacken that off a little bit, get the centre in the centre, in the centre hole. So, nip it up. This is how I do most flat platters. Just put a mortise in. Sometimes if it's a big one, then it'll be with a big set of jaws for the inside, and then that is now quite well gripped in an expansion mode. You haven't had to worry about a screw chuck, and we can now turn the tenon on here. Right, what I've just done is I've just changed the tool rest for the longer tool rest. It means I'm not as close to the centre, but I need more palm support over here for when I'm doing the pull cuts. So that's now tucked in, still between centres, and it's got the tailstock support. Leave that in as long as you can, and then go back to doing a pull cut. We'll start the cut here in a minute. Drop the bevel on the side. drop that handle. Up 60. I had a look and I've got to now mark the size of the tenon on the bottom. So I'm starting to get some reasonable cuts. One side, not quite the right size. Do another one. That looks about right. Nice and simple, just only have one point on there at a time. So I can begin to cut that tenon. Turn the speed up a little bit. Okay. Beginning to get a bit of a shape. Alright, reposition the tool rest. Put it around a bit. Make sure I've still got that at the right point. I know where I am. So I'm going to try a push cut now. Look for the ghost. Alright, I'm just going to do a pull cut. Just doing a shear straight. Might go to a scraper just to try and smooth that round. Negative rake scraper. Just little angel hair dust just coming off, very, very gentle. Nice tool control, keep it tucked in. That got it, that got that there, I think. It's still look nice piece of wood. There are a few concentric marks on here, but I think I'm going to go to sanding now with my sanding discs. Right, I've taken it through some of the grits, but I haven't been able to sand very close to here because I've obviously got the tailstock still up. So I'm just going to now take the tailstock away, and I'm also going to now shape the tenon because this is going to be the final finish on the tenon, and the base will all be finished and done before I return it to the other side. So I'm going to try the Jeff Hornung technique of actually going in with a spindle gouge and just creating a little bead shape here so that the C-jaws will grip around the bead like that. I'm just going to go in with my small detail gouge and create a little chamfer on that side. Going with a skew, that's a scraper. Right, I think I'm going to go in my little vortexy tool thing here and see if I can dress that a bit better. That's got in. Dress the edge up a bit better. I'm just going to turn the inside. Right, let's create a little spiral, which you may be able to see. It's quite pleasing. Okay, so I'll put some cellular sanding sealer on and I've got a few little cracks, so I'm just going to run some glue into the cracks. Just to stabilise on. I'll have to do more from the inside, I suspect, as I can see they're going right through. Right, so I've reversed it, so it's now on the tenon, and I'm going to keep the tailstock up, I think, while I turn out some of the meat of this, especially until I've gone past the air point. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put a felt pen mark on the actual tool rest rather than a piece of tape, because I found the tape got in the way and I kept on thinking I was going to foul it on the tool. So that's the outside edge and that's the inside edge. So that's the air space. At least I know approximately where the air is, and job's a good one. Okay. So I want it finished from the outside in as much as possible, so that I keep the meat of the wood available as long as possible. So I can see the ghost. Well, it's getting to be a uniform thickness, just a tiny bit more on this inside here. Now turn the speed up a bit. That's better. going to try a pull cut right off the edge. See if I can just blend out the tool mark. Just blend that in up to the start of the ghost, because that's getting, yeah, okay, there's just a bit of a ridge there now, so the thickness is right. I just need to blend that in, and I'll try and avoid going back if I can after this. See the cracks now. I think I've got the blending right up to and just beyond the air, and I'll need to now. I'm just going to do another couple of push cuts on here, and then I'm going to glue up, I think. See what the thickness is like. That's pretty good. That's about 5. Yeah, it's 5.5 mil. And given it's cracked, I don't think I'll take it any thinner. So I'm going to put some cellulose sanding sealer on temporarily, then I'm going to glue the cracks. The sanding sealer being just to stop it from staining the wood too much. Okay, so I've done a bit of sanding, 80 grit and a bit of 120. I've just sanded around the outside briefly as well. You can see perhaps from looking at the top camera, this is actually quite mobile, it's quite flexible, so I've got to be quite careful. So I'm just going to cut out the centre now. Yeah, that's okay, I think about 1300 and a little bit more. I can hear some little noises. I don't know what that is. It could be that the wood is starting to crack a bit more. But Okay, that's missing it. Middle. Don't put your thumbs in when it's spinning, like I just did. Fortunately, it didn't hurt. But, says he with only one hand. No. I'm just going to do a bit more delicate shear scraping this spindle gouge. Okay, and then I think I'll just go in with one of the scrapers. Right, that's pretty much got that. Just another pass, I think, with this one. Right, sanded a 600 and sanded the last few grits with the grain as well. And I'm just putting on the sanding sealer. Just making it look lovely. But I have got some splits. So this is going to require a little bit of perhaps a bit of love after it's dried. I'm just putting some, after the sanding sealer, I'm just putting some of the bronze embellishing wax, because there's a little bit of grain which the walnut has, and I don't want that to show up white. So I'm just putting some of this on. I'll put some on the back in due course as well, just as a get it into the grain, give it a bit of a sheen. It will highlight the cracks, but the cracks are a feature, so I can't hide them, so we'll just go with it. Right, let that dry for a bit. Right, a quick wipe up with the coppery bronze finish, and then a quick coat of like cleaning coat of Hampshire sheen, just to get rid of the excess, so that I can then buff it without staining the wheel too much. So hopefully there's a little bit of that colour in the grain. So just a little bit of Canuba on here, and there we have it. Probably do a little bit more hand waxing in a minute.